This video is intended to be a guideline for proper installation techniques using Tarkett products. For complete details, refer to the complete installation instructions for your product. In this video, we will review the types of pattern match as well as seaming methods for Powerbond Hybrid Resilient Carpet. Tarkett Powerbond and adhesives must be acclimated in a controlled climate environment, including the subfloor at an ambient temperature between 65 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Always store Powerbond rolls standing or laying side by side. Never stack Powerbond rolls on top of each other. It is very important that preparations be made to the carpet knife to ensure it is prepared for the correct depth to be able to double cut the carpet. Remove any slotted blades that may be in the cutter and replace with standard utility blades. Set the blades to the proper depth of the double layer of carpet you are working with by using 2 scrap cuttings. Use pliers to properly tighten the screw so that the blades are secure and will not be pulled out of the cutter during the seam cut process. Products should be inspected for dye lot, style, color, size, quality, and shipping damage prior to installation. Tarkett Powerbond products come in a variety of styles and designs, which will have different pattern match requirements. Refer to the product specification sheet to determine the pattern match of your specific product. Most importantly, before beginning any pattern matching or seaming work, the pile direction must be identified. Use the arrows printed on the backing of the carpet to determine pile direction. Ensure that all rolls are installed with the pile direction arrows facing the same way. Side match refers to when the pattern will repeat in both width and length. This pattern match is the traditional and most common pattern match for carpet. A side match with full width repeat will have half of a pattern printed on the A side of the carpet and the coordinating other half printed on the B side of the carpet, so that when seams are aligned, the 2 sides will line up. Powerbond products that require a traditional side match pattern match will have the width and length measurements listed on the product specification. Many patterns can be identified visually on the rolled-out Powerbond. Once the pattern has been identified, slide the sheet so that these patterns align. This may require some overlap of the sheets to ensure the pattern is precisely aligned. Often, cutting a window into the self-edge edge of the topmost roll of Powerbond will aid in alignment. Adjust the carpet knife to the proper depth so that the double cut method can be used to cut the seam. Powerbond must be seamed using the best seam cutting method for that specific pattern. Tarkett recommends practicing seam cuts on scrap material to determine which will be the best cut to hide the seam in that specific pattern. Once the best seam cut method is determined, cut the Powerbond and fit seams together according to the complete Powerbond installation instructions. Products that have an end seam only match only require to be matched at the end seam, commonly referred to as the head seam. Powerbond products that require an end seam only match will call out the pattern match information on the product specification. Many patterns can be identified visually on the rolled-out Powerbond. Adjust the carpet knife to the proper depth so that the double cut method can be used to cut the seam. Powerbond must be seamed using the best seam cutting method for that specific pattern. Tarkett recommends practicing seam cuts on scrap material to determine which will be the best cut to hide the seam in that specific pattern. Once the best seam cut method is determined, cut the Powerbond and fit seams together according to the complete Powerbond installation instructions. Some Powerbond products do not require a pattern match in any direction. The yarn will be in a random pattern that does not repeat. Adjust the carpet knife to the proper depth so that the double cut method can be used to cut the seam. Powerbond products that do not require a pattern match may require a more intricate seaming method. These styles will not blend well when a straight or serpentine cut is used. To avoid visible seams, Tarkett recommends a flame-shaped cut at the seam. While this type of cut is more time-consuming, it will provide a much neater finish for a more aesthetic seam. Start by overlapping sheets by approximately 2 feet. Begin the cuts moving from peaks to valleys in a triangular shape, varying the height on each cut. It is important when completing the vertical cuts that they are curved and not straight lines. This will allow the best blending between the two rolls. Additionally, special attention will be required when seam welding these flame cuts. Apply the seam weld to both sides of the cut, but avoid applying it at the peak. Curl the fill piece so that the sides can be pushed up to the seam weld per the standard seam weld instructions. Bounce the point of the fill piece into the seam weld on both sides of the cut so that it is coated on both edges. When executed correctly, this seam cut method will provide a continuous aesthetic and the seam will be very difficult to see. Visit Tarket.com for the most current installation and maintenance instructions.